Virgos, how are y'all doing? This is going to be your March 2021 tarot reading. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returner, welcome back. I'm Sarah, this is Cancer Capricorn Guidance, and I'm here to bring you love, light, and guidance through tarot, astrology, and spirituality. As always, before we get started, in my description box you can find my email. I am open to doing personal reading bookings, so if you would like to book a session with me, just reach out to my email and we can set something up. If you'd like to follow my Instagram is linked in the description box. You can also check out some Spotify playlists I've made. My March playlist is in there, so feel free to check that one out. You can also find my PayPal link if you would like to donate to this channel. So Virgos, how are y'all doing? I'm really excited because I have a brand new deck that I'll be using for probably the rest of the future. I really like that I have another deck now to kind of build more intricate spreads with a lot of clarification. This is the Neon Moon deck. It's by an Etsy seller. I will link that in the description box, as well as the I Am Everything Oracle cards that I always use in case you are interested in purchasing any of these decks. And of course, I always use the classic Waite Tarot. I'm really excited to use these. It's a really cool illustrations, and I dig cool art, especially when it comes to tarot cards. And on top of that, my friend Hannah drew these really awesome tarot cards behind me, these prints. So I linked her Etsy shop and her Instagram down below if you want to check out her pages. But I'm going to start off with the Oracle cards because I really like starting off with these to start the reading. Any first messages here for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart, whatever energy you've been vibing with. Any first messages here for Virgo for March 2021? Any first messages here for Virgo for March 2021? Any first messages here for Virgo? Whoa, I'll take both of those. That kind of flew out. I am bold and I am resilient. Wow. Okay, the number 5 and the number 23, which also is a 5. If that resonates with you, that number has to do with a lot of change. I am bold. I speak my truth in a loving way. My courage to communicate my needs is powered by love for myself and love for others. I am bold. I am resilient. If my mood wavers, it doesn't stay that way permanently. I allow myself to feel my feelings until I can refocus my thoughts on the positive. I do not judge myself for being human. I am resilient. Virgo, I have this feeling that you've been experiencing some very intense feelings lately. And I think there's a part of you that's trying to learn how to accept that and kind of allow yourself to feel those more intense feelings and to kind of not just like allow them to be felt, but kind of stand in your power within them and really admire yourself for the fact that you have the potential to have those strong feelings, because it's okay to feel things very strongly. Virgo is a mutable sign, and a lot of times with mutable signs, I've noticed that they can very much be very passive, very go with the flow, not always one to like speak up and be bold and do something like a fixed sign maybe say would. But I feel like you've been experiencing these strong feelings that are maybe pushing you towards wanting to really express them. And there's kind of this theme of like allowing yourself to be able to express them freely for yourself and for, you know, the benefit of your connections with other people. Because when you're not speaking on feelings that are really strong within you, how is another person to know how you're feeling or what you're experiencing or what you're thinking about? I just have this feeling that you've been experiencing maybe some ups and downs in terms of extreme moods. You may have just been experiencing like extreme feelings over here in a certain area, and then, you know, a few days later you're experiencing extreme moods and these kind of emotions. I think this is just really saying that like it's okay to be bold, and it's also okay to allow yourself to experience those extremes and to allow yourself to be able to kind of oscillate in and out of them. It's okay to have like not mood swings, but changes in feelings, changes in perspectives, changes in the way you feel. It's okay to like change your mind. It's okay to feel a certain way one week and then something different the next. You as a Virgo may be not very fond of that because you really like that stability and you like the predictability, and you kind of like the more organization and kind of being passive and letting things come and go. But that might be a good skill in how to deal with these stronger emotions, is to feel them more objectively, to let them come in, observe them from a like almost like You're not the one feeling them. You're just the one that's like the vessel in which they are happening. So the emotions may come in, you recognize them, you identify them, and then you kind of let them go. It's okay to feel these feelings as long as you are experiencing them healthily, these extreme emotions. It's just very important that, I think it's going to be very important this month that you express them and not keep them in, not suppress them down, not deny that they're there, but healthily express them and healthily allow yourself to experience them and then let them go, and then experience the next wave of emotions and then let it go. Let yourself have that, because that's how humans are. We're human beings. We have a wide range of emotions that change with our environment and our experiences and who we're connecting with. I just feel like there's this need to step up and kind of be expressive and be bold in these strong feelings. I think that people may not be expecting this of you. And that's even more all the reason to really express yourself for who you really are and how you're really feeling. And to know that you're going to come back from it, whatever these strong feelings that you're experiencing are. You're going to come back. It's not going to be forever. It's not like you're in this, maybe you're in a sad place right now. You're not going to stay there for long. Maybe you're experiencing frustration or anger. You're not going to stay there. It comes and goes, and you got to allow yourself to do that as much as you have to allow yourself to express these feelings. Because it only is detrimental to you if you don't express those feelings. This is really interesting, Virgo. All right, I'm going to start with the Rider Waite. Yeah, I just feel like, Virgo, you may have been sitting in silence for a while and kind of letting things come and go, but not really speaking up on them. I think now you're coming to a place where you're being told to, or you feel this strong desire to speak up on the feelings that you've been experiencing. Speak your mind. Speak on your experiences that you've been through recently. Like, hey, I've been through a lot, but I bounced back, and here's why. I feel like I've been very resilient. I feel like there's experiences and stories on your end that need to be shared, or are kind of like energetically begging to be shared within you. And so now it's not the good time to like sit in silence and deal with things yourself. It's just, I'm getting that it's time to kind of express those feelings, whatever they are. Express the feelings that have come with the experiences you've been having recently. It's okay to be bold. I know that you don't always like to be, but it's okay to be bold. You may have something really important to share, and it may be helpful to someone else or inspiring to someone else. Maybe you've recently been bouncing back from a really heavy experience, and it's time to speak up on that, and speak up on the fact, emphasize the fact that you made it through it, and not that you're like going through it right now, but instead that you experienced it and you came around and you came out of maybe a dark place. That resilience. Maybe believing in yourself that you are resilient even if you are still in a not great place right now, emotionally or energetically. Let's get into your reading, see what comes up for y'all, Virgos. Any first messages for Virgo, Sun, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart, whatever energy you've been vibing with lately. These messages are for Virgo for March 2021. Any messages for Virgo for March 2021? These messages could pertain to you, someone in your environment. You know, energies and roles could be reversed or vice versa. Could be someone that you're dealing with. Could be the past, could be the future, could be right now. Just take it how it resonates. Any first messages for Virgo for March 2021? Any first messages for Virgo? Whoa. Any messages for Virgo? Oh, I just saw the Chariot. Any messages for Virgo? Interesting, Virgo. Maybe you're not ready to be bold yet. Maybe you don't know how you feel. You just feel strongly. You just have strong emotions. You're not sure how to identify them. All right. I'm going to pull the rest. Virgo. Wow. Oh, I don't even know where to start. Whew. Ooh, yeah. Oh, baby. All right, so the Death card was on the bottom of the deck, and then after that was the King of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Wands, which means that you're going through a heavy death process. There's a lot of finalities that are coming in for you. There's a lot of endings happening, and I just feel like it has to do with the self, your emotional self, your shadow self, the darker parts of yourself, or the more outdated parts of yourself that are kind of being shed away, whether you are in control of this process or it's kind of been happening to you. I just feel like there's a big transformational process that you're undergoing right now, which is really interesting because I feel like I got some of the same messages for Cancer, some of the same cards. So feel free to check out the Cancer reading. You may have Cancer in your chart. So Virgo, for the overall energy, we have the Death card. I just feel like there are old processes of how you process. There are old ways of how you deal with heavy emotions or heavy experiences in life. And I think that there is a death process occurring in terms of that, with the whole I am bold and needing to speak up about your emotions and your experiences, and the I am resilient. Like, you're really in the process of bouncing back from a lot of these heavier cycles in your life. And I just feel that you're undergoing a shedding process right now. There's a lot that you're letting go of, or there's a lot that you feel is falling away and kind of removing itself from your life. You're not even doing the work right now. Like, things are falling away. People are falling away. Like, there's a lot that it's just shedding. Like, it's just shedding. It's energies and things that aren't for you are kind of falling away and being removed from your environment. There are parts of you or old processes or habits that are falling away, or you are actively working on getting rid of them because you know that you can kind of feel this energy of, you know, that you're going through some kind of like more personal transformational process right now. And so maybe because of that, you are choosing to remove certain things, energies, people from your life that aren't helping you or adding to this process, that aren't making this process any easier. For some reason, I feel like it has to do with what you put your time, energy, and focus into, and what your kind of long-term goals are. Because here I have this Eight of Pentacles reverse and the Two of Wands in reverse. I feel like for a long time, you've been focusing your energy on all the things that aren't important to you, don't matter. You don't want to be focusing your energy on this. You don't want to be putting your resources into this, but there was something that made you had to do that. Or the way that you are made you feel like, this is my responsibility and it's more important for me to focus on these things, even if it's not really what I want to be focusing on. It's just this energy of putting a lot of time, energy, resources into like almost like busy work. Like, I have these kind of goals in mind for like what I want for myself, but that future is so daunting. It's so far away, and that end goal, that vision is so clouded, and I don't know how I'm gonna get there. And so either instinctively, like kind of subconsciously, you're stuck in these habits where you're putting a lot of time and energy into projects, things, people. You're making investments into things that literally don't have anything to do with the thing that you actually want. Because maybe it's very unclear to you what it is that you actually want. So you're like, why do I keep wasting time doing these jobs or working on these things or putting a lot of time and learning about these things and developing these skills and to get good at these other things that don't even matter to me. I don't even care about that. I don't even want to be doing that. Like, maybe you have a goal of like how you really want your career to go, but for years maybe you've just taken whatever jobs kind of come, even if they're completely irrelevant to what you actually want to be doing. Excuse me. It may have something to do with the money aspect, where you've taken jobs because you needed the money and needed to work more than you needed to follow some kind of passion or dream. Yeah, I just feel like there's something about like trying to envision something for yourself, but not being sure what that is. Like having some kind of big dream, but not being sure what it looks like and how to get there. And so you keep wasting time. Like you get through an entire experience and you're like, damn, that was a waste of time. I don't know why I put all my time, money, energy, resources into that. It didn't help me along this path. It didn't put me further along towards this thing that I actually want. It was kind of like derivative, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of took me away from what I'm actually trying to do. Like, I'm focusing my energy on things that are really not at all related to something that I actually want to be doing, or something that I just keep thinking about, but not just fucking doing it. There's something here about like, I want this, and I can kind of see how I want to put my energy into it, but maybe not feeling motivated or inspired right at this time, not feeling motivated or inspired to do it at this time, so you keep putting it off. I'm just getting a little bit of procrastination energy where it's like, yes, I want that. Yes, I have this dream. Yes, I have this goal. But I'm going to do this because I'm scared, maybe. Maybe it's very daunting. Maybe your own dreams are scaring you a little bit. Or I don't have the passion or drive to do that right now. I have to put a lot of time and energy into this other thing. Or you put time and energy into developing certain skills, or taking certain courses, or doing certain things that you thought would put you on the right path and thought would help you develop yourself further in order to be able to better handle that, better put yourself on track towards the thing that you actually want. But when you get done with it, you're like, well, that was a waste. That actually didn't help me at all. That didn't put me on the path. Yeah, I'm just saying it's really hard for you to plan. It's really hard for you to make a plan surrounding your dream and your goal right now because of money, because of the job that you're doing. It's like, I'm stuck in this job that isn't relevant, but I have to keep going. I don't have time to dream and plan for that right now, or you've been avoiding or procrastinating making an actual tangible plan. Maybe you really have been wanting to start a business, but you've just been putting off sitting down to focus on it because you're very scattered about what the vision or goal or kind of idea for it is. It's not solidified for you yet. You haven't been like sitting down to put in the work. Maybe you just haven't had that spark of creativity that would motivate you to do that. But the Three of Wands here, something is going to come along that actually does spark that creativity and actually puts you into motion, puts you into action before you thought that you were ready. Virgos, I feel like you sit on things for a long time before you're so worried about the logistics of everything and like the schedule and the itinerary and making sure everything goes right. You're not one to take a leap and do something fiery and passionate as a fire sign would, but I feel like something is going to catapult you into whatever this thing is that you actually want to be doing. Even if this is a relationship, you put a lot of time and energy into relationships that weren't actually serving you. And now I think you're shifting. I think some of this death process is you shifting your mindset into, wait, I want more than this. I deserve more than this. I deserve more than to keep putting all of this energy and time into relationships that aren't actually turning into anything. Like I'm the only one putting in the work. There may have been something here about making a choice that you later ended up regretting. Like you made a choice that you felt like, it wasn't going to provide a future. It wasn't going to pan out in a certain way and lead you down a certain path, but you made that choice anyway. And maybe you regretted it at first, but it's turning out that it's actually going to be helpful to you, or you felt like you've been putting all of this busy work and this irrelevant work into something that you don't think is going to be helping you, but it actually is putting you on the right path. Yeah, there's something here that's going to spark your imagination and actually help you try to envision this vision you have for yourself. Try to solidify this plan, and at least energetically, at least in your mind, it's going to spark something that's like, oh, that's actually a good idea. I should try to sit down and plan something out, map something out, write something down, write a plan out, write a schedule out. Something is going to spark that that's actually going to give you a little bit of optimism again. It's going to fuel a little bit of optimism again. Maybe you've just been very pessimistic about the whole prospect of this because you've been so focused on things that aren't relevant because you had to. You kind of had to focus on other things and weren't able to focus on that, but something's going to spark your creativity. Maybe it's this Pisces season. It's this Pisces energy that's bringing you back to things that make you feel creatively expressive, makes you feel bold and expressive, and makes you feel like, I have this emotional and spiritual attachment to this thing, and now's the time. I just gotta fucking do it. There's something here about I don't want to say emotional trauma. That seems like a very bold thing to say. Bold. But there's something about like emotional, like lowercase t trauma. I don't know who came up with that, but I really love that. Lowercase t trauma. That is kind of like, it's your own experiences in like emotional wounding that's kind of keeping you from just going for it. Just going for it and just going to do this. Just fucking doing it. There's something here with like an experience from childhood, maybe even, where there's some wounding surrounding not feeling capable enough, not feeling bold enough, like you don't have the energy and passion, like you want to do something that seems very not in character for you. But at the same time, you're going through a huge transformation process that maybe is going to help you prepare to take on something a lot more bold that you may not have used to do. Something that you didn't even expect yourself to do, but you're kind of going through a transformational process where you're starting to believe in yourself more. You're starting to let go of those old scripts in your head that have like held you back from doing things that you actually want to do, that have held you back from just trying to even envision something from yourself. Like you haven't even put in the time to just daydream about it because you're like, that's a waste of time. That's irrelevant. That's not helpful to me. There's something here about like negative self-talk and negative scripts in your head that have held you back from going after the things that you actually want. Some kind of wounding from your past, like people telling you you weren't good enough or you couldn't do it, or you just internalizing that idea even if you never really heard that from others. There's a lot of energy of like, yeah, something from your past that's like emotional wounding that holds you back. And I think this month might be the month that you're really starting to release that, because I think you're realizing that it's yourself. You may have felt like I can't do it because of all these logistical external factors, but it's yourself. There's this need to release yourself from these negative thought patterns that keep you stuck, that keep you trapped. There's this need to release yourself from these self-doubt. Like, I'm stuck here because I have to do this thing and I have to do this work that doesn't matter to me and isn't helpful to me. And you may have to go back to square one. That may be something that's holding you back and is daunting to you. But with that passion and with that visionary mindset, that will help you be excited about this new beginning. And this death process, this could be a whole new beginning for you. This could be you letting go of a lot of that emotional wounding, that negative self-talk, that self-criticism. Virgos are so self-critical. Maybe you've internalized a lot of detrimental scripts that keep you stuck, that keep you held back from just going after the things that you want. Virgos are very much, along with earth signs, are the type that's like, no, I need to do what is the responsible thing. I need to do the practical thing and not the thing that is driven by my passion. I think there's going to be a shift in that. That might be what this transformational death process is for you, is you're starting to take yourself more seriously in terms of the things that make you feel passionate, the things that you desire, the things that, you know, start your fire. With this Knight of Cups reverse, maybe you're not feeling in the most creative space right now. Maybe you don't feel the most emotionally open. This Pisces season and this Pisces Venus could really help you with that energy. It could really open yourself up. There's this need to open yourself up to creative and emotional opportunities, because there's a lot that's holding you back emotionally and mentally. But it's time to release a lot of that energy and lead with passion, lead with your heart. Follow what makes you feel good. It's not always about putting in the time and energy. Like, maybe you put a lot of time and energy into something that fell through and you were hurt about it, because it's like, how does that work? I put on all this time and energy into something and then it falls through. Maybe that wasn't right for you. Maybe you weren't supposed to be doing that and you're supposed to be being led to this new thing. This death and transformational process is you becoming someone new and kind of leveling up emotionally, spiritually, mentally. In order to prepare yourself for a new journey, you have to take on new mindsets. Sometimes you have to like almost become someone a little different that people don't recognize in order to do new things that you haven't done before. Maybe you're coming out of a death process and you're kind of being reborn in a way, that Scorpio energy, like the death and rebirth, and you're coming into a much more different mindset, outlook, even the way the actions you take that are a lot more bold than you used to be, and people don't expect that of you, and maybe you don't even expect that of yourself because you've internalized what others expect of you too. And it's a showcase of how resilient you are. It's like, I went through this dark period, I went through this death, and now I'm in this transformation process where I'm being reborn into someone new. I don't want to do the same shit over and over again. And if I want something new, I have to do things differently. I have to become someone new in a way, in a good way. People change all the time, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You're becoming someone more bold, someone who wants to like really take charge and go after what you want because you want it. Like, it's as simple as that. If you want something, you got to go after it. And there's this need to kind of open yourself up emotionally and creatively to the different possibilities, how you can get there, how you're going to start to plan to make this happen. There's a need to open yourself up emotionally and creatively. Whew, all right, let's get some clarification for you, Virgo. Cards are still very stiff, so it's hard to shuffle. All right. Can I get a clarification for the Death card for Virgo for March 2021? Clarification for the Death card for Virgo. Clarification for the Death card for Virgo regarding this spread. Oh, the Hierophant. Oh yeah, some of these are really the same cards as Cancer. Definitely check out the Cancer reading. Virgo, I feel like this death and transformation process for you is really about you establishing a new sense of self, like establishing a new foundation of who you are and like what values you kind of base your actions around. Like, people may have some shit to say when you start acting differently, but it's because you have a new outlook and a new set of like values and beliefs that are changing the actions you take. You're becoming a lot more bold, or about to become a lot more bold and make a lot more bold decisions because you had a change in mindset and belief system in terms of like, you know, maybe you're just really like, fuck it, I have one life and I'm not just gonna sit here forever and think about the lost opportunities and the things I missed out on and the desires I didn't chase after. I'm establishing a new sense of self where I do take those chances, I do take those risks, I do take those leaps of faith in order to go after what I want. It's like you kind of establishing a new identity where you're someone that's a lot more in alignment with like how you feel and your desires. Like, you have all these desires but never acting on them and never speaking up about them. How are you to live the life that you actually want if it's only being lived in your head? You know what I mean? And I just think that you're establishing new ways of doing things for yourself, new habits, new foundations of self and belief. Maybe you're going back into old books or studying the past in a little bit, studying history in a way that's inspiring you, or you're relying on, through this death process, you're relying on some kind of institutional knowledge or some kind of Taurus energy. It's like this death process is helping you establish a new sense of self, and you may be trying to hold on to old ways of doing things during this time, but it's not really going to help you. Yeah, there's a sense of like wanting to hold on to stability, but knowing that through this death process, you're going to create a new sense of stability, a new version of yourself that will be a sense of stability. It will be something for you to rely on in a new way because it'll be based on new values, new desires, new foundations of self. It's like you're creating a new version of yourself and you're ready to kind of step out and be that person and be bold and speak on it and speak about your experiences and be like, hey, look at all the shit I went through. Look how different I am. Look how resilient I am. I'm new because I've had a change in mindset. I've always had these desires, but now I'm acting on them. Can I get a clarification for the Eight of Pentacles reverse here for Virgo? Clarification for the Eight of Pentacles reverse here for Virgo. The Lovers reversed. It's so funny. Like, I remember the Cancer reading, the Hierophant reverse was the clarification for the overall energy, and the Lover's reverse was the clarification for the first card in the Cancer reading. Weird. Yeah, I just feel like this has a lot to do with your values, like what you value and what you're really going to be putting time into. And I just feel like with this Eight of Pentacles reverse, you've been putting so much time and energy into the wrong things, into things that really didn't resonate with you, things that weren't in alignment with you, things you didn't actually value. I think you're going to be realizing something that you maybe put a lot of time and energy into, whether it's a job or a project or a relationship. It's not meant for you anymore, and you may be coming to realize that this month. You may be coming to that realization about how misaligned you are with the work that you're doing. It feels very irrelevant, and like you're putting a lot of work into something that doesn't matter, isn't important, isn't relevant to what you actually want to be doing. It's kind of taking you off path of what is really for you. And so you may be starting to feel that you're being removed from this, or it's being removed from your environment, or you're just realizing that this foundation is a little bit cracked and you need to create a new foundation, or you need to turn your energy into something that means a lot more to you. There's something about choices here. I think it's like you have the choice to stop putting energy and time into things that aren't for you, aren't good for you, and things that you don't want to be doing. It may be time to move away from that because you're realizing how not in alignment it is with you. You feel misaligned within yourself. Can I get a clarification for the Two of Wands reverse for Virgo? Can I get a clarification for the Two of Wands reverse for Virgo? The Empress. Whatever this is that's kind of holding you back, and like you haven't been putting the time into something to plan it, something that doesn't have as much promise as you thought. Like you put a lot of work into something that you thought had promise, or you put a lot of work into something that you knew didn't have promise. And I think it's beginning to stifle your growth. Or maybe you thought that it was going to help you grow, but it really is turning out that it isn't. Or you thought it was going to be a good creative opportunity for you to kind of flourish, but it's not really turning out that way. There's something about not being able to tap into your feminine energy, not being able to be your like Virgo giving, earthly purity kind of self. It's like you can't see the future and possibility in this because you know that there's no growth here. And that's why the vision is kind of being blocked. You feel very blocked. And like the Two of Wands reversed to the Three of Wands is telling me that there's going to be some kind of switch that triggers you into a more passionate and optimistic and visionary and like opportunistic mindset. But here and now, you know that this isn't going to provide the kind of growth, or you're realizing that it's not doing that. You're realizing that it hasn't. So it may be time to shift. Can I get a clarification for the Three of Wands for Virgo? The Two of Swords. Yeah, it's time to make a choice. I think what's going to trigger your passion again and like kind of get you to start seeing things more optimistically and kind of think outside the box and really try to start to put some energy and passion into this, really start to plan it out and go after what it is you want. You have to decide to do that. You have to make the choice. It isn't up to someone else. It isn't up to any external factors. It's up to you. And this whole transformation and death process, you may be feeling like it's been happening to you, but there's been a lot more autonomy and decision making on your part in this process than you think there has been. Like you feel so stuck. You feel so stuck doing this job that you don't like, that isn't putting you on the path towards what you actually want to be doing for a career, just for example. But like it's you that's keeping yourself stuck. And I think it's time for you to make a choice. And you may be realizing that it's about time for you to make a choice. It's time for you to sit down and make a fucking plan. To really start envisioning this. Really start planning it out. Really start thinking about the logistics. Really start coming up with a vision, or, you know what I'm saying? A business plan, or, a 1-year goal milestone plan. Like, You know, what should be done at the end of each month? Things like that. It's time to make a decision to start really putting in the time and energy, because if you're passionate about it, then it's probably worth it. All right, can I get a clarification for the Six of Cups reverse for Virgo? The Three of Wands. There it is. It's something from your past, some emotional wound from your childhood or your past that's kind of held you back from being passionate and optimistic and forward thinking and very open-minded to all the possibilities. Maybe you've just felt your whole life like you had to do certain jobs because it's more about responsibility and creating stability and providing for others, providing for yourself. And there's something there that's held you back from actually chasing your passions, chasing your dreams in some way. Maybe you've taken a lot of jobs that weren't jobs that you actually wanted and you just felt like you had to. It's some kind of emotional wounding from your past. Maybe your family kind of put a lot of negative ideas in your head about your worth and your ability and your boldness. Maybe you've wanted to do a very passionate, artistic, creative kind of career path, and maybe your family or something from your past kind of, you've internalized this, like, you're not bold enough, you're too boring for that. It's time for you to step into like this boldness. It's time for you to let go a lot of that negative self-talk and those mindsets, whether they're external or internalized, that really hold you back. There's like this passionate and like creative and inspired energy that really wants to come out. You just have to decide to let it out and release yourself from the self-doubt and the self-restriction that holds you back from going after these things. Can I get a clarification for the Eight of Swords reverse? The King of Wands reversed. Yeah, it comes from a place of not feeling passionate. It comes from a place of not feeling inspired and creative, but it also comes from a place of not feeling like you're the one that can be in control. You're the one that can be calling the shots. Like, it's this lack of confidence in your ability, lack of confidence in your creativity, your passion, lack of confidence in like your fiery energy that will allow you to be a passionate leader and kind of be your own leader of your own project, of your own goals, your own desires, your own dreams. There's this negative mindset that kind of keeps you trapped, and it's time to really release that, because I think it has a lot to do with like a bruised ego, like bruised confidence in terms of like being able to be a passionate leader of your own goal, your own journey that you want to really take on. Maybe there's some wounded masculine energy, something with their rejection, something with lacking self-confidence, something with lacking confidence in your ability to be a leader. Can I get a clarification for the Knight of Cups reverse for Virgo? The Six of Wands. Yeah, I just feel like there's this need to open yourself up creatively and emotionally that's going to help you kind of open yourself up to this passion and creativity and desire that's going to put you on the path towards this thing that you actually want. And it's going to put you in a position of success. It's going to put you in the limelight in some way. It's going to put you in the public eye in some way. It just requires you to open yourself up emotionally. Like maybe you're feeling like uninspired, but there's this energy of like, you're gonna find success, you're gonna reach some kind of milestone when you open yourself up to that, because I think it's gonna open this whole world up for you that's gonna allow you to start actually moving towards your dream or your goal that you actually want to chase. It's something that's gonna lead to some form of success for you. Maybe you have this transformation process is you changing your mindset about what success is and what your dream and goal is. Maybe you're realizing at this time that it's something very creative and passionate that you've been avoiding or telling yourself you can't do for a long time, but it's actually something that's going to bring in success, and you have to kind of open up your heart to it. You have to open up your heart and allow yourself to lead with your heart, to follow your passion, follow where your emotions are telling you to go, follow where your intuition is telling you to go. Be bold, make bold decisions, make decisions. Be the leader, like take control and take accountability almost and responsibility, and make a fucking decision that's gonna open things up for you and put you on the right path. Like, of course you're not going anywhere and you feel like you're not moving towards your ultimate goal because you're not making the decisions to get there. You're keeping yourself stuck and doing these jobs that don't mean anything to you, doing these things that aren't worth your time, letting these negative self-talk patterns and old wounding hold you back from your capabilities. Letting people tell you that you're too much of a Virgo to go after something so passionate and creative. Like, you have that energy within you. We all have those kinds of energy. It's a matter of allowing ourselves to tap into those energies. All right, Virgo, let's pull 3 cards of advice for you to finish this off. 3 cards of advice for Virgo regarding this spread. 3 cards of advice for Virgo regarding this spread for March 2021. 2 more cards of advice for Virgo regarding this spread. Only 2. 2 more cards of advice for Virgo regarding this spread. Two more cards of advice for Virgo regarding this spread. Oh, I asked for 2 and I got 2 more, so now you have 4. Okay. We have the 7 of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups reversed, the Star reversed, and the 9 of Cups reversed. I think it's time with the 7 of Pentacles, it's time to invest. It's time to make the investment into your own self, into your own desires, your own dreams and goals. It's time to just put in the time and energy that you put into so many other things, to finally just put that energy into the thing that you actually want to be doing. Put the time and energy into it. Sit down and actually just fucking do it. Create a plan. Get started. Just start. Just start. It's time to invest in yourself, in your desires. The 8 of Cups reverse is telling me that there may have been something that you moved on from emotionally that, like, you're like, that's not worth my time anymore. Like, I shouldn't be focusing on that. It's not going to be helpful to me, so I'm going to move on from it. I think now is the time that it's going to be coming back up again. There's going to be signs that are pulling you towards this thing that you kind of move on from. Like, if you had a dream or a goal and you're like, you know what, I'm going to put that to rest. I'm going to kind of let that go and focus on other things. It may be coming back up at this time, and it may be actually time to revisit that. Maybe time to give it another shot. It may be time to kind of emotionally dive into it again and see if there's still something there, if there's still potential there for you, if this is something you still want to do. Yeah, it may be time to return to something that you actually moved on from. It may be coming back up for you at this time, and it may be time to, like, reevaluate the situation, reevaluate if this is something worth putting that investment into. The Star reverse and the 9 of Cups reverse, you're feeling very hopeless about the potential of your dreams coming to fruition. Like, there were some dreams that fell through and it actually really hurt you. It really put you in a position of not feeling hopeful about anything. It put you in a really pessimistic mood because certain dreams didn't work out. But again, the 8 of Cups reverse is telling me that it may be time to come back around to it and give it another shot. You were feeling very pessimistic and, like, there was no point. You were feeling very hopeless about certain dreams coming to fruition or certain things that fell through that left you very disappointed in yourself or a certain outcome. But again, because you're going through this death process, because you're establishing a new sense of self, it may be time to revisit that because you're going to be revisiting it with a completely new mindset, new values, a new foundation of self, a new way of looking at things, a new energy, a new creativity, a new spark, a new boldness. That it may be actually time to revisit this and not stay in that hopeless place of, like, you know, that's done. It died. I just got to let it go. No, it may be time to revisit that from a new perspective, from a new self. You're feeling like someone new, or you're in a transformation process where you're becoming something new. So it's time to revisit old things from a completely new perspective. To not be so hopeless about dreams that died. And maybe time to revitalize them. Yeah, maybe certain dreams died and that's the death process, but now they're being revitalized in a completely new way. All right, Virgo, I'm going to leave it there. I really enjoyed doing this reading for you. This was very beautiful. If you got anything out of this, please leave comments down below. I really love when you guys leave comments that this resonated with you or this really stuck out to you. If this helped you at all, please leave comments. I would love to hear about them. Again, in my description box, you can find my email. If you want to reach out to me and schedule a personal reading, please feel free to do that. You can find my Instagram, you can find those Spotify playlist links, and you can find my PayPal link if you would like to donate. Virgos, I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next reading.